Okay, it looks like we're live. Just gonna wait a few minutes, see if people show up. Don't know how many because this was a very impulsive, like last minute announcement. So we'll see. Okay, I sounded a bit too loud there. Wow. I'm adjusting the mic to the sound of my voice and then waiting for like the couple second delay um, on the video, and then I can hear myself back. Two people, although one of those is definitely me. Let's. I'll just give it another minute or so. Um, all right. Let's see. All right, there we go. I think regardless of what I do with the mic, it's just gonna sound kind of bad because of this room. We got hardwood floors. We got no carpet. Well, there's a little carpet that I'm on right now, but um, also this mic is probably not the best for streaming. So we're just kind of gonna deal with it. Actually, let me adjust this a little bit. If we bring this down to 70, that might make things a bit better. Uh, okay. Anyways, let us begin. And by begin, I mean look at my phone. All right. Whatever. I am very out of practice in streaming, so I want to kind of ease back into things and hopefully do this more often because there's just not really. I haven't done much this year in terms of releasing videos and, well, yeah, releasing videos, but I've made like no models. It's just been a very busy year. All right. Well, comments I think will show up eventually, so I will get started. This might need adjusted. That's fine. Oh man, I could have people vote on what I'm supposed to say it, but no one's here yet. Oh well. Let me just keep this window open, actually. I like to have the stream running in another tab. So let's see. Oh, okay. I'm seeing. It's Walter White. Yep, that's me. I wonder. Actually, these might be better. This might be more Walter White like. I can't picture what his glasses look like right now, but yeah, I have glasses again. The Grounder Zone. I haven't worn glasses since like middle school, but at my job, I realized my eyesight's kind of bad, so uh, I decided to get them back. Well, these are new, and also I have my safety glasses for sanding, so protects my eyes. And then I've also got this goggle insert, but I don't need this today when I'm doing like heavy duty with my tools. Yeah, but all right, now that one person's here, I can ask how I sound. I heard like a snippet of it, but I'm not like the best judge with these headphones. So not everybody has these like noise canceling studio monitor quality things. So, oh, we got three. Three is a lot more than one. It's pretty sick. I think I have to be like right in front of the mic also. Like I got to be facing it. Sounds pretty good. Epic. All right. So there's no viewer count on StreamYard. I have to keep checking the video. All right. 3. All right. So this is very impulsive stream right here. I just kind of decided to do it with little to no planning. Yeah, little to no planning mostly. Originally, what I wanted to do today was do a stream, kind of like people that do live reactions to Nintendo Directs. I want to do a live reaction to the Dovetail Direct, talking about the new Wonders of Sodor update. Unfortunately, I got ready for 1 p.m. Well, like leading up to this, I knew, okay, 1 p.m., I got to be ready. It turns out at 1 p.m. is when a 3-hour countdown starts, a 3-hour timer, and then the actual announcements, like the actual direct starts at 4. But at 4, I have to leave. So that is very inconvenient for me specifically. So I'm going to stream anyways, work on some stuff, make the sanding a little less boring because I'm talking to people. Yeah. So there's only like 2 or 3 options of what I could work on. I think I'm just going to start with these frames. The camera I might have to adjust if people actually want to see what I'm doing. Other thing is the placement of the mic. So maybe if I'm like right here, and then I have this stuff down here. Dreammaster 36. Yeah. I'm hoping we get good news also. I'm just kind of bummed that it's like, oh, the stream starts at 1. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm locked in. And then at 1 o'clock, it's actually the 3-hour timer for the stream. Like, okay, cool. I don't understand why they need that. Maybe like 1 hour, but 3 hours just to eat up all that time and like data. I hope they introduce bees into Wonders of Sodor. Bees would be pretty sick. That would be pretty awesome. James goes buzz buzz and just also have bees flying around. They could probably do that. Like I think the graphics are good enough to have little bees floating around. I like seeing all the animals in Wonders of Sodor. I put out a tweet recently where I went to a Lego show and I bought a bunch of sheep because Wonders of Sodor made me realize that like I need more animals. I need more animals in my videos. So yeah, there's lots of sheep, horses, cows. So why not bees? Oh, Mr. Sandman, Wooden Fan. It's Wooden Fan 1. That's me. I am the Sandman. Well, unfortunately, I kind of go back and forth between loving and hating working on prints. So where's the sandpaper, Steam Engines United? It's right here. We got a sandpaper. We've got a second piece of sandpaper. We've got a sanding stick. I've got other stuff way over there that I can't reach, but I don't need it right now. The annoying part, I feel we need to remember the animals. Yeah, I never put animals in my videos ever. Probably because they're not like ever relevant to a story, but also animals are just everywhere, you know? They bring life to sets. So I definitely want to, you know, do that. For a long time, I wanted to do a Peace and Quiet remake, but I held off on doing it because of, you know, I didn't have sheep. And then Lego introduced this cool new sheep part a couple of years ago, and I never got it until a couple weeks ago, where I bought a bunch of them. Although I still need to buy the wool pieces, and then I also want to buy some baby sheep. I also bought a goat, though, a Lego goat. Collecting Lego animals is fun, and I'm glad to get started on that again. Trade that sandpaper for a vanilla wafer. I don't think I can get much done with a vanilla wafer. I kind of need to get this done because this right here is not for me. This is a project for somebody else, so it's kind of taking a priority. I'm your sheep. What do you mean? Uh, okay. Okay. It was only a matter of time before. What's my opinion on the 2026 trailer? I'm sure this question's gonna get brought up a lot, but to sum it up, I'm kind of mixed on it. I don't know. What if I skip my chair down? I would probably see my giant five head. Okay. I'm kind of mixed on it, honestly. I'm not sure if it's going to be for me. I'll give it a try, though. I'll give it a watch, at least the first episode. But I like that it seems like it's a bit toned down more compared to All Engines Go and Big World Big Adventures. It's a little slower, a little calmer, a bit more slice of life, it feels like. And I'm glad to see that. I feel like really need that right now, like slower paced shows, because it seems like everything is so hyperactive. And then also just the world is crazy right now. So I want to see more calming stuff. And it's a nice kind of return to form, sort of. But at the same time, I don't want it to be a return to form. I kind of just want, I want this to be its own thing and stand on its own. I don't want them to just try to recreate classic Thomas, which I think they're going to stray away from, which is good. I've been thinking about it quite a bit. And I kind of want to see Thomas more like The Legend of Zelda, which, hang on, if we just, can I turn my camera and then, Okay, my camera's on a little stand. I have the Lego Legend of Zelda set, well, the old one, and my shield. I like Zelda a lot. And what I want to see from Thomas is like each take be more different. Okay, I can't get it back to how it was. I want to see Thomas be more like Zelda, where like almost every single Zelda game it's you have Link, you have the princess, you got Ganon, you have Hyrule, like you have the heavy hitters, but everything changes. I feel like a lot of people want Thomas just to stay the same, and I kind of want to see more different takes. Yeah, I need to get animal props. I have like none. Yeah, that's the thing. I have a lot of open mainline sets. Wonders if Sodor has so many farms. It's crazy. But I guess that's what a lot of Sodor is. It's just farmland. So yeah, I got to get some more animals. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Puss in Boots: Last Wish coming back to Netflix. That's a good movie. I saw it in theaters, and I haven't thought about it much since. But it's pretty cool that it's coming back. Will you please go into excruciating detail about the history and different grades of sandpaper? Well, I'm afraid that subject matter would just be so awesome that I'd probably just entertain everybody too much, and then the stream would have to end. So I'm not going to do that today, unfortunately. Oh, another person, Dookie. I think the way Thomas has existed has made people see that Thomas as a monolith that is constantly repeating the same plot beats and can only stray so far versus a story that grow and change. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with like how I want Thomas to be like Zelda, where every iteration, like you have a couple key components, but everything else is constantly changing. New art style, new worlds. I mean, I'd like to see a Thomas iteration where like they're not even on Sodor. It's just another railway. And then maybe halfway through, Thomas shows up, or change the lore. Maybe in this new season of Thomas 2026, like make it so that Thomas doesn't even have a branch line. Have him get his branch line at the end of the season. You know, that's the overarching story. And he gets it through not saving James, he gets it through doing something else. I want to see more changes like that. Yeah, I feel like Thomas should definitely be allowed to change. We do not need Thomas like Gord remastered. Yeah. We've got 3 live action Spider-Men. We've got like 10 Batmans, a bunch of Supermen, Mickey Mouse and Mario. They have a bunch of different iterations. I think, you know, like Thomas should be allowed to change more. That's kind of what I want to see. And this reboot looks like it's doing a little bit of that, but I mean, it's kind of hard to go off of with 30 seconds of footage. So We'll just have to wait and see. Um, I'm just glad that we have something now because, like, every week it feels like we're just descending into madness, waiting for this stinking trailer to come out, and now we have one. So I'm happy about that. How many people do we have now? 4, 5. Refresh. 4. Um, for those of you that weren't here at the very beginning, I'm doing this because I need to get this project done. And originally, I wanted to just do a live react to the Dovetail Direct, but that's not going to happen until 4 o'clock. At 1 o'clock is a 3-hour timer, and at 4 o'clock I have to leave, so I'm not going to do that. It's like how the most standout Thomas fan pieces are the ones that change things and also have a good narrative. Yeah, the best ones do things like that. I would wholeheartedly agree. They should have called it Thomas and Friends Quest 89 instead of Thomas and Friends Railway Stories. Now, Railway Stories is an okay name. I'm glad it has a name and isn't just Thomas and Friends 2026. Or the reason why some. Okay, I gotta get better at reading and saying at the same time. Maybe I should explain what I'm working on at some point. I will save that for later. What if the reason why some Thomas fans think that fan content is boring now is because they have Thomas video essay fatigue, trains videos replicating a specific era of the show, and are tired of the only non-Thomas shows being recommended underground earning construction site? Maybe. I kind of feel like a lot of people just don't watch as much stuff outside of Thomas. I know that's a stereotype. I know it's not 100% true, but sometimes you kind of get that impression from Twitter, which Twitter is its own can of worms, but it doesn't represent everybody. It doesn't. It's social media. It's exaggerated. It's not all, but I kind of video essay fatigue is not something I would have thought about, but there's definitely a lot of video essays. I feel like there's more video essays than original fan stories sometimes. I think, yeah, I guess. I don't know. And most of those essays are about like why old Thomas is good and why newer Thomas is bad. I think we've seen the rise in video essays because that's kind of just what YouTube is now in general. Like there are so many essays on like every topic, and a lot of them kind of aren't that good because they just spend like an hour getting to the point when the whole video could be like 10 minutes long, and people will drag it out super long. I've been going through my watch later a lot and just slashing a lot of video essays out of there because I'm like, wait, I don't care about this topic anymore. It's been here for like a month and I haven't watched it yet. There's a lot of good video essays, but there's also a lot of ones that I just don't care for. I haven't seen any honest video essays that I don't like though. But you got YouTube, and I think also just like you don't need a toys. You don't need toys or trains for a video essay. You can just download footage and talk about what you want to talk about. We see less stuff nowadays because there's not really much good merch on shelves, which I think is hopefully going to change with the 2026 stuff. Remember the ones where Future Percy tries to stop Armageddon, or Toby's a steam diesel hybrid who mauls a twink versus the Thomas Train videos with How to Train Your Dragon music, or the dozen My Ideal Thomas videos? Yeah, I really like Silver Avenger. Milk Tanker Media is I miss his series. I kind of wish it kept going, but I'm kind of glad that it stopped though. It has a definitive end. Those are the ones that stick out to me. I really try to watch a lot of different fan content nowadays. And there is like the sense of like, some stuff blends together like trains and people trying to recreate the classic series, which that's what people want to do. That's fine. But sometimes like I just got to be in a certain mood for it. I like to see interesting takes and completely random new things. I think the only ones who do something really different than Standard Thomas are the older titles, Enterprising Engines, Quest 89. Not a lot of balls to the wall series anymore. Your series is kind of balls to the walls, which I haven't got caught up on. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. It's been a pretty crazy decade. But yeah, I want to watch that. There's a couple other shows I need to get caught up on. Well, Thomas fan content shows. in terms of like movies and other stuff, right now I'm just like we're rewatching a bunch of stuff in preparation for Doomsday. Okay, there's this little tiny bit stuck in there in that little crevice. I got to get that out, and then we can move on to the next piece. So I can just get this little thing in there. A lot of this will come out when I wash it. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not meant to be like a super, super detailed part because there's like a million parts that are all going to be glued together. But I still want to clean it up a little bit. I don't know if I can get that out of there with just what I have here. I might have to come back to this later with like a knife and scrape it out. And the ones that do are usually trains and are sometimes poo-pooed on by the community for doing something different. My gosh. I'm really not a fan of like every week on Twitter, it seems like somebody is just like getting a fire lit under them. Sometimes there's like actual problems. Other times it's like, well, this person made this video and I personally don't like it. So now we're going to dog all over them. Like, I don't know, man. Some people making videos like all the season 5 stuff. And, some people are doing this for like the first time, they're just getting into the hobby. And I think it's perfectly fine to like imitate other stuff when you're getting started. But I think also we see a lot of classic stuff because Classic Thomas hasn't been around it's been a while since it's, been around. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't like when we crap on people's videos. It's made me not want to be on that platform as much. Not to say train stuff is bad. If someone has a good directing vision, cinematography, editing, it's cool. But often, yeah, I think that you can do a lot with trains. It's really cool. But I kind of have mixed feelings about it sometimes. I think, okay, I'm going to put this flat down. I'm going to turn the comment off just so I can turn the camera down a bit more. It's really cool how far Train Simulator has come. It's really cool that people can recreate sets from the show down to the last like minute details. Like, oh, in the background of this shot, there was this oil barrel. So we put this right here. It's really cool that you can do that. It's really cool that you can put the camera in there and get low angles right up close to the engines, just like how the show could. It's really cool that you have the same sky backdrops that the show had, and you can put those in there. And it's really cool that people can program the lighting so it looks exactly the same as it did in each respective season. You can make like a season 5 style or a season 2 style video, and then you could put the color correction and then a VHS like filter over it. It's really cool that people can do that. But again, I gotta be in a certain mood to watch that, because sometimes it's like, well, you're just really, really trying to recreate the classic show, which is cool. But I like to see just new stuff and interesting takes. I mean, sometimes I'm in the mood for train stuff. Other times I'm in the mood for what's the series called? Ryan Rockets Trackmaster Shorts. Is that it? The one with Fartram. That I love that. You'll take a 15-minute adaptation to 4-minute stories with no new narration, and you will like it. Is that really a thing? I see people talk about that on Twitter all the time, like people dragging out episodes, and I've not watched anything like that. Is that really a trend that's happening? I feel like the Ernie and Arnold jokes feel like they're milked to death. I haven't seen too many of those. Whenever anyone brings up Ernie or Arnold, that's Thomas Theorist, right? Yeah. I don't really see many people make jokes about it besides him. So I don't know. I guess I'm in different spaces. Whoops. I like Thomas Fan videos. That's something to say, or a love of the game. Yeah, it's really cool. Because when you have different styles and different themes and writing, I'm overthinking my words, but each video is somebody's like their personal, their experience. It's their thoughts. It's their voice going into Thomas and doing what they want to do and say what they want to say. Like my series is very much like that. It's a reflection of It's a reflection of who you are and what you like, what you don't like when you make a fan video. And I mean, if you watch my episodes, especially older ones, like you can tell like where I was at certain stages in my life. Like early season 3 and late season 3 are very, very different. I was very into Family Guy and edginess in the first half of season 3. And in the back half, I'm like, okay, I want to take this a little more seriously. I want to elevate this. I want to actually write scripts. And certain characters go through certain things, problems that I've had or that I've seen, and everybody has the ability to do that. I'm not saying that people don't do that now, but when you see all these season 5 adaptations and stuff, it kind of does feel like there's a lot of I don't know, similar feeling stuff out there. Thomas Phantom is no series to bite into, so we're kind of just at the auto cannibalism stage. Yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of people just really miss classic Thomas, and
Got him. Okay, I think we're back. Um, where did brother go? Hello, Seth. Uh, brother has returned. Footage froze. Someone put a comment in if I have returned. I can't really tell right now. Getting like in the middle of these grids is kind of a pain, but it'll all be worth it. I hope someday. It's back, but audio is weird. Okay, let me see.
okay. It said that my mic was set to my camera, so now it's back to the mic. Uh, no, 2008 audio quality. It's a reference to Cactus, so it's okay. What happened is my internet crashed just out of nowhere. It does that sometimes. I think it's because Steam was downloading stuff. I downloaded the Wonders of Sodor update, and then, well, patch, not the update yet. And then a bunch of other games started downloading, and I think that might have done it. Also, we live in a kind of densely populated neighborhood, and I think sometimes the internet is like strains because there's just a bunch of kids playing Fortnite and stuff. So that's my theory. Um, okay. Do you think trans people emulate the show because they don't know how to be directors or use a camera? Possibly. I I've seen a lot of train stuff, old, new. I think again, people emulate the show because it's what they're comfortable with. It's what they've seen. Uh, I kind of emulate the show sometimes. I emulate other stuff I've seen, and then I've also just been to film school and know different techniques. But I mean, when you're just starting out, emulate the show. But I think it's really cool when people can do their own thing, and yeah. Okay, what is this Misty Island Rescue anime video from back in the day? I've never heard of that. I think it'd be really cool. Cactus is the only Thomas fan that has the balls to have a villain going insane that they'll have to go to the madhouse or jail or eventually off themselves. Guys, I love Cactus so much. I had not watched Cactus until last year, and like, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that like I was going on a big Cactus binge. They'll either send me to jail or the madhouse. I'll make a deal. You can send me to just jail or the madhouse. What was that guy's name? Oh, what was his name? Crap. Wickham. Yes, I'm gonna put Wickham in my series. Cactus is really cool. He's still here. I need to talk to him. I need to ask him some questions, and if it's okay if I do some things in my series. More so that is, but I think it's like tracing without knowing how to draw, which is good base. People often expand yeah. From what I've seen, I think like I've said, a lot of people just kind of emulate the show. There's not a whole lot. There's not much of a voice yet. I think a lot of people are kind of still developing their voices. I'm trying to like keep in mind that new people come into the fandom all the time. At one point, like I was the small little kid, and now there's a lot of kids that use trains and stuff. Sometimes I myself I'm tempted. If I'm up late at night, and if I had a bad day or I get some intrusive thoughts, and I'm like, hey, all this stuff, all these sets, all these models, all this stuff, I could just get rid of everything. And I could go to trains. I could go to Train Simulator, make my life so much easier. But no, I think my show has to be done with Wooden Railway. In the intro for season 1 remastered, I literally put a Wooden Railway adventure. Like this has to be done in Wooden Railway. Well, maybe some CGI, but I would use CGI. If I were to do CGI, I would try to be like Diesel D199 and have it be like a merch with CGI. CGI looking like the merch. I would make the grass look like the carpet and stuff like that. And I would only use it when I have to for like, I don't know, cool fights or something. Where's Mrs. Cow? Good question. I have like 2 or 3 Mrs. Cows. One of them is across the hall, and I don't know where that disgusting 3D printed abomination is. I actually might have thrown that out. Who do you think would win between Sylvester McPoggywoggle and Deku from MHA? Deku is pretty powerful, especially at the end of the show. But Poggywoggle has hypnosis. So, also he's like the Lord of Hell also. And he sent Toby to the moon. So, I'm going to have to say Sylvester McPoggywoggle. He could probably wipe the floor with any character, honestly. Put him in Doomsday, and that's going to be a very, very short movie. He could just be like, Deku, you're going to use One for All at 100% because I told you to. And then he does, and then Deku's limbs fly off. And easy fight, easy dub. Didn't you burn it with Topaz? I might have. Honestly, I forget. There, sometimes like stuff is just a blur to me. Sometimes I don't remember what I did with Mrs. Cow. Honestly, yeah, I probably did burn that abomination. But tempted to recreate my island of Sodor and trains. I have a map completed and maybe do some side stories between. Yeah, that could be interesting. How does everybody feel about the Sodor map? I want to ask people that because, like, at this point, it's been a very long time since I've worked on my Sodor map, but um, I kind of don't care anymore. If that's okay. Um, the map is like it's really cool that people are trying to map out the show and that we have all these different iterations and all this information from across the show. But it made me stop working on my map because I got really overwhelmed with how much information we have. And I'm like, I kind of don't care anymore, you know? Uh, I'll use maps or, figure stuff out for a specific story. But for like random shots in the countryside, it's like, whatever. I'll just make it look cool. I really like the Wonders of Sodor map, actually. I would probably use that as a base and then do whatever else on top of it. But yeah. Remember when everyone was hyper fixated on the map making in the 20s? Yeah. I follow an account on Twitter called like Sodor Mapped, and it's really cool how people like piece together all these details. But also it's like I don't want to commit to anything because I'm afraid one day someone's gonna watch an episode and be like, actually that set's supposed to be on the loop line and you put it here and it's inaccurate. There are several times in season one remastered where characters talk about going here or going there, and we get a map shot. I kind of wish the map wasn't in episode one, but it doesn't. It's just that's just the main line and like Ulfstead, so it's fine. But I've actually like deleted lines from some scripts and cut lines and like cut stuff out just to kind of simplify it. And I don't want to commit to anything specifically. Maps are good for story flow, but I don't often think about it in depth. So people got that maptism, some people don't. Yeah, I've kind of lost my maptism. I'm kind of like, well, Thomas's branch line, it starts here, it ends here, and all these sets happen at some point. So put them wherever. Well, I don't know. Some stuff I'm more specific with, but other stuff I don't care as much. Like the 3-track bridge and random sets on the main line. One reason I stopped my map is because like I was trying to put everything there. Like that random bridge and 3 curbs with a water tower from the Nitrogen era. I tried to put that on the map, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Half of this is never going to show up. There were already problems for my series itself, such wait, that's the sequel to follow the Railway Series Tugs map, first iteration from the get-go, and mostly follow that with my own edition. Plus, when I hang in my room, yeah, actually, I would like to have a Sodor map hanging up. What I actually would really like is I'd want a painting of like the opening shot with Thomas going by the windmill, like a watercolor painting of that, just a big canvas, and I'd put that on in the hallway or something. That'd be pretty cool. There were problems. Marion made connected to Thomas branch line, but I fixed that with my rail lines. Yeah. Speaking of art, Visionary Locomotive Works on Blue Sky has opened commissions, and I was like, this is going to be absolutely devastating for my wallet in the somewhat near future. Depending on how the money situation is looking like, I would love to commission Thomas to make me a poster for episode 2. I think that'd be so cool. I bought something from him like at Edison, and I still need to get a frame for it. I was actually at IKEA recently, and we were looking at frames. I'm like, I don't have the thing on me, and we had to buy other stuff instead. But something to keep in mind. Here we go again. This little corner, there's some crap stuck in there. I think I just need to get a knife and cut it out because that's like way in there. These are a pain, and I've got so many to do. At some point I should explain that. Hello, useful. Thomas is indeed the goat. Loop line for my series is just Henry's Forest, intro bridge from Hit and Nitrogen Eras and Timoth Town Square. AU. Yeah, the loop line's pretty weird. No one really knows what goes there. I feel like it's always changing. Well, Benry goes there, according to some, which is probably true. He probably haunts that area. But yeah, the loop line is like it just leads back to it loops around to Knapford, right? Like from Ellsbridge to Knapford, maybe. It's how Gordon ends up at the back of the station. Woo, Thomas, I know that guy. Yes. I have another commission out right now for another artist, and once she is done with her piece, I will see where I'm at, and hopefully by the end of the year, I can see if Thomas has any spots open to do something. Well, I guess I should probably get episode 2 out first before the poster, or have them done at the same time. All right, frame number 3. I've got 7 of these. 7 of these pieces. I've got 6 of these, and then 28 of these. And that's just all the stuff I'm working on right now. There are 168 pieces that I've been doing here. It's pretty wild. But we'll see how it looks out in the end. We'll see how it looks in the end. Probably not for a while though. This is not a project for me. It is for someone else. I heard that WD Gaster Zoomer Dolls will be part of the loop line. Maybe. That reminds me, I gotta play Undertale. I was playing it with the Subject Legend or Ray on our gaming channel years ago, and what had happened is that like we went back and forth editing each episode. We filmed the final 2 episodes back to back, and then for a while, for a long time, I was like, "Oh, Ray, we got to get this stuff out. Every year I forget." It turns out I uploaded both of the episodes, and the reason is they were just private because Ray never made the thumbnails. So the Bringle Bros Undertale finale never came out. But that was a pacifist route. I know there's like 3 routes in that game, and I really want to do the other ones, but alas, there are a bajillion other things to do and a bajillion other games to play. The most recent game that I finished was Bug Fables. If anybody knows Bug Fables, if there's any bug heads in the chat, please let me know. I'm probably like one of the only people in the fandom to play Bug Fables, honestly. 7, are you sure not 6? It could have been 6 or 7, who knows? Every year, I forget. Oh my, I don't remember this. That'd be Loam. I love Carrie Shale Topham. I know that joke probably might be old for some people, but I'll always love it. I'm the guy that, like, in school, when someone would tell me a joke at lunch class, like 4 days, not 4 days, well, like 4 classes later, I'm still like trying not to laugh in class. Like, that's just how my sense of humor works. That's kind of how I work as a person, I guess. Everyone on Twitter, I feel like, moved on from Wonders of Sodor after a couple weeks. They got bored. And then I'm like, this is so much fun. And I'm still playing it now. It's been a couple weeks, but I still love that game. Really disappointed that the stream doesn't start until 4 when I was told it starts at 1. With writing, always envision more with sets in mind. So if I'm writing scenes at Tidmouth, Crowlan's Gate, and Vickerstown Yard, what does knowing where the random season 5 outside Kildane set matter? Yeah, that too. Now the joke never gets old. In terms of like writing and sets, I've kind of thought about that recently. I was just rambling once, and I thought about how it kind of bothered me that in season 2, Crosby Station just appears. It's never introduced. A lot of locations are never introduced. It's just called the station, and it's a different station sometimes. And I was like, well, that's kind of lame. And also unrelated, I wished we got a story about how Edward got his branch line, because in season 2, we just start with him randomly having one. But with sets and the writing, something that I really want to do is remakes in the future. I want them to be really different. After my Thomas and the Jet Engine remake is done, I'm not gonna like never ever do a remake again, but like I definitely want to like stay away from them, and I want to do more adaptations sometimes, balance with my series. But I was watching Turbo 711, some of his remakes, and I think it's really cool that he'll just throw in random sets and random characters because when the narration doesn't specify something, like you can technically put this anywhere. Like in his Twin Trouble remake, the narrator's like, Donald and Douglas didn't talk to each other for the rest of the day. And in the show, they're at the scrapyard. But in his remake, they're at Knapford. And it's a similar shot, but a new location. And I'm like, that's really cool. I like when people do that. Remakes definitely should be a remake with your own spin on it. I definitely get what people say. And I want to do that more. Jet Engine is just a project that I started like years ago just because I wanted more videos on the channel. And it's very sparingly been worked on since. I'm the only Thomas fan who's ever watched at least one Paul Thomas Anderson movie. For some reason, I thought you were talking about Wes Anderson. So yeah, you might be the only one because I don't know who Paul Thomas Anderson is. I've heard the name, but now you've got people complaining. Simple Mods. Simple Mods. I don't know what that was referring to. Peel Godred and Kelsthorpe Road and Hit Era is just Peel and Kelsthorpe. I like Kelsthorpe Road. I think it's underutilized. I like the Wonders of Sodor, and Emily's there in that one story. I associate Kelsthorpe and Emily, like they go together in my mind, probably because of season 8. Okay, this one needs a little more. I'll work on this side. Oh, one battle after another. Okay, I need to watch that at some point. I've heard it's pretty good. How many people do we have? Let me see. 2. Oh well. I don't know if I can announce what I'm working on. I mean, I'm working on a project for someone else who's not me. As I've said before, I don't think it'll be a huge deal. I'm working on some models for Someday right now, for Enterprising Engine Someday. It's one of the reasons I've not been working on episode 2 as much, because the last couple weeks I've gotten to the standing stage, and it's taken a bit longer than I thought it would, but we're almost done. So it'll be pretty cool to get this done. Also, my printer is down, so I can't print my own stuff anyways, so we'll have to just wait on the parts to get here. These are very tedious, but I'm getting less distracted talking than I am with like watching YouTube. I tried to get through this yesterday. I got some stuff done, but I was getting distracted like by making spreadsheets. So that was pretty dumb and nerdy of me to do that. I need some water. Oh! Okay. I got my water. I almost spilled it, but I've got it now. Dubsell announced they were going to be adding stuff to the game, but people found out it was only able to see Green Thomas. People went nuts, not in a good way. So the thing about that useful is that was just a patch. That was not the actual announcement for the update today. They put out a patch, which is something that like games do all the time, just like little bug fixes and stuff. And when they did that, they threw in LBSA Thomas as a little bonus. And people are getting mad because they can't read where it says like that this is a little bonus before the announcement of what's to come. Because we're going to get the announcement tonight, but I highly doubt that what's getting announced is going to come out like today. Unless it's like a Nintendo Direct sometimes where they're like, here's this new game. It's available right now. But yeah, no, LBSC Thomas is not the update people are waiting for. It was just a little bonus they gave us today. And people are mad because they don't understand that, I guess. I don't know. One day I have more liquid cash. I will be buying more of your Break Van prints, that and maybe commissions and prints. I have it busy in Tinkercad. Nice. Thomas fans can't read. The sky must be blue. I don't like. Okay, gosh, I didn't mean to get so mean. It's amazing how Thomas is a series of originated books, but half the population cannot read. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I don't want to be mean and be like Thomas fans can't read, but like it literally says on there like stay tuned for the direct where we announce what's next for the game. Like also, I think a lot of people just don't. There's not as many gamers as I thought in the fandom. Um, I guess it depends because half of all the Wonders of Sodor videos that I've seen start out with somebody being like, "Okay, so I'm not actually a gamer. This might be a little weird for me, or I'm not used to the controls." And I'm like, "Dang, I'm a gamer. I should do a Wonders of Sodor video." I've wanted to, but the hype died down. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to, but it's like I really want to focus on episode 2 and well, getting this done and then episode 2. But I'd love to do a review of Wonders of Sodor because I feel like my thoughts are probably going to be a little different than some people's. But yeah, like every review that I've seen, they're like, "I'm not actually a gamer." Can't read this. There aren't any words. The usual book, Luke and Andrea. I don't know who Andrea is. Yeah, no, yeah, usual bloke Luke is definitely a gamer. He does game reviews. Well, at least he did. R.I.P. Luke. Well, he's not dead. He's just retiring from YouTube. I will miss his new videos. Wonders of Sodor is pretty cool, in my opinion. There's a lot of cool games coming out this year, but I don't have a Switch 2 yet, so I can't get most of them, most of the ones that I want. I'm actually incredibly excited for Minecraft Dungeons 2. I didn't even know that it was going to be a thing until a couple months ago, and I'm like so excited. It's coming out on Switch 1 also, which I have, but I might just get it for Switch 2 also. Not also, instead of. I might wait until I get a Switch 2 and then get that game. I kind of wanted to buy Wonders of Sodor for the Switch just to support the game, but I don't know. It's like I've heard it's really bad on Switch, but maybe with the patch, I kind of just want that box. I kind of want just the physical release of Wonders of Sodor. Still haven't got Wonders of Sodor mainly because of finances. Maybe I'll try to getting it for my birthday coming up in November. Yeah, honestly, I would recommend it. It's really fun. It's really relaxing. Honestly, I think it's a great price. Most games nowadays are like $60 to $70. I was shocked when Wonders of Sodor was 45. But you kind of got to keep in mind that a lot of the island is not there, so it kind of balances out. That game does feel a little rushed in some places. Creator of TTOS. My apologies, but that does not help me. I don't know what that is. Been playing Tamagotchi Life this year. No Switch 2. I just love piracy. Okay, fair enough. I was playing Tamagotchi Life a lot. My girlfriend was so excited for Tamagotchi Life. We played the demo together, and then she got it. Just one day, I came home and I was like, "Oh, you bought it? I thought you were gonna wait for like the physical release. Like I thought we wanted to have a physical copy, but we have it on digital." She played it for a bit, and then I played it like 10 times more. Like I really got sucked into Tamagotchi Life, but I haven't played it in a while. I played it like a couple weeks ago briefly. I kind of like, not that I'm bored with the game, but I feel like I can't play it per se. Like each time I log into the game, I gotta take care of all my Miis. And back in the day, it was a couple months ago. Back when I started, I'm like, okay, I have a couple Miis to take care of, feed them and stuff, and then I can, build new stuff on my island or throw them around and stuff. Now I have to take care of like 15 Miis. I have to go through every single one, feed them, take care of their needs, and then I can get started. And I'm like, if this grows all the way to 70, I don't think I'm gonna make all 70 Miis. This is kind of a lot of work now. I'm kind of surprised none of my Miis have died yet, honestly. I'm kind of neglectful. Oh, Tedious Tales of Sodor. Okay, I've heard of that. Have I watched that? I might have seen like one episode of it. Again, there's a lot of fan series that I need to watch. Favorite moments of when I had Toby and Henrietta on my island and got back to back love cutscenes. Fell first, fell harder. Lamau. My favorite scene is when the Cedric Legend fell in love with one of my D&D characters, and I sent them some pictures, and I was like, "Hey, I it's kind of out of my control, you know." I gave Ray a nice clock tower to live in that has Boulder's face on the door, mostly because I wanted a clock tower in my city. But yeah, I've got like some family members, I've got some friends, and then I have a bunch of Ninjago characters just hanging out. Okay, I think this frame is good. Actually, there's a little bit of on the back, some gunk to do. I love sports field being used as Toriak. Yeah, I like that the sports field halt is used in there. I honestly got Toriak and Hackenbeck mixed up a lot, and I think it's because the wiki kept changing which one was which. But now with Wonders of Sodor, I'm like, okay, this is cool. I really like Thomas's branch line in Wonders of Sodor. My biggest hope is that Mavis gets added. We need like a Toby and Mavis DLC for the quarry. You can have Toby and Henrietta, Mavis, and like some new quarry trucks, and then the stories can be like maybe Mavis, and then Toby's tightrope would be really fun, and then you can get some Toby stories as well. Maybe maybe Ghost Train, because Toby and Percy together. You can just do all of Tramway engines. That'd be cool. And then Mavis timetables and stuff. I just want Mavis. It sucks going to the quarry and there's no Mavis. Anything before episode 9? Episode 9. Oh, okay. That took me a minute there. Yeah. Okay. Tedious Tales and Riot's individual series are really cool and unique. Yeah, I've heard good things about both those projects. What does Soda should have had? Steam Team, Nia, Rosie, Mavis, and Diesel. Yeah, I think they should have had more for sure. I think it's absolutely criminal that there's an open world Thomas the Tank Engine game and Cranky the Crane isn't in it. He's like one of the most iconic characters. Like people on the street know Cranky the Crane. They know Thomas, they know Harold, they know Cranky. Just because they've been, so iconic, so heavily marketed and merchandised throughout the years. But like, it's crazy. You can't go to the docks and see Cranky. What I would want is, I want Toby and Mavis. What I also want is a Brendan update. Give us Edward. Well, the whole up to the Clay Pits. I think Clay Pits could probably be its own separate thing, just so it's not rushed. But give us the Brendan branch line with Edward, Salty, Nia, and Reg. Put Reg at the scrapyard, and Trevor. I want to see Old Iron as a story, maybe Salty's Secret, and then Safe from Scrap, which would be pretty cool, I think. Like, you start out with Edward, you go to the scrapyard, you meet Trevor, and then you play like a little mini game as Reg, and you load the scrap into Edward's train, and then Edwards delivers the scrap to the station, and then you go back and, I don't know, you save Trevor. And then I guess you could also do a visit from Thomas, or Thomas and Trevor, where Thomas delivers Trevor to the harbor, and you could have Trevor drive around Knapford Harbor and do some work. I don't know. I want there to be like mini games in Wonders of Sodor. There should be like an engine wash game and repairs and painting and stuff. Where's my Thomas and Friends pressure wash simulator DLC? Maybe it's added. I hope she doesn't get the Emily treatment. What's the Emily treatment? You mean like having a story that was partially cut? I don't know what the Emily treatment means. I'm adding Edward, Henry, Toby, Mavis, Henry will be great additions next. Yeah. You got to fill out the Steam team. You got to have Edward, Henry, Toby, Nia, Rebecca. And then I think next to be Mavis. And then if you're doing the rest of the Brenda Branch, Salty, we need the characters that are associated with locations. Because like I said, it's criminal that you go to the quarry and there's no Mavis, or you could go to the docks and there's no Cranky. If there was a docks and they didn't have Cranky, I mean, it's criminal if you can go to the docks and there's no Salty. They would have to put Cranky. But yeah, Edward, Salty, Nia, because like Nia works on the branch line. Do some Nia and Salty. Oh yeah, Nia. I forgot her for like story ideas. You could do some stuff with her. I want to see more original stories in Wonders of Sodor also. There was discussion about the map earlier. Something I think is really cool is the timeline of Wonders of Sodor. I've been kind of picturing Wonders of Sodor as like its own continuity, and I think it's really cool that Leaves was a story. I love The Trouble with Mud. It's probably one of my favorite episodes. But in Leaves, you pass by Emily. She's pulling a train when you're going past her, which means that Emily was on Sodor during the events of Trouble with Mud. So she came to Sodor early, or that story happened later. And it's like, it gets me thinking, like, what if Emily came to Sodor after Edward got his branch line, or Emily came to Sodor when Thomas got his branch line around that time. Maybe that's why Thomas got so upset when his coaches were taken. Well, I mean, they're his coaches, but excuse me. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of a mix-up like that. I don't know. I just think it's really cool because they could have used somebody else, but they chose Emily, and that's just really interesting to me. I have not played Jack Frost and First Class Engine. Those are the only stories I haven't done. Well, actually, I did play Jack Frost, but I think I failed because it didn't let me go to the end of the level. I failed the James segment and it just ended. Go to the quarry, see Boulder. Yes, Boulder Quarry and the Skarloey Railway would be incredible. Skarloey Railway would be like awesome in Wonders of Sodor as long as they fix Crovin's Gate a little bit. Yeah, Clay Pits and CGI would be fun. I could see that being an add-on to an add-on, because if they do the Clay Pits, I want Bill, Ben, Marion, and Timothy, and then it's kind of stretching it for like Boko and Derek. I mean, they could be like just their own engines, their own like little buy one engine pack with the story. I don't think they need to be in a bundle, but Bill, Ben, Marion, and Timothy would be so cool. Like, imagine pulling the Express with Marion. That'd be so much fun. Steam Team is kind of weird they didn't replace Toby with Rosie. That was the gender balance. Yeah, I guess so. I think Toby has to stay there because are you going to say Rosie is square? Yeah, it feels like a when then an if. Just like Brendam, the Skarloey Railway, you can drive a little bit of the way down. Like I remember one of the collectibles is on the Skarloey Railway up to the point where it cuts off. So they want you to go there. That's also actually, I don't know if anyone else has talked about it because everyone says they want Edward, they want Duck and Oliver. I want more collectibles. We've got like 20 Railway Series books. I want more collectibles added. Put them in like the new locations when they get added. I'm assuming they'll do that. But I want more collectibles. I like just exploring Sodor. I kind of wish there was like a Breath of the Wild equivalent for Thomas, because that's not what this game is. It's a realistic train simulator with like a little bit of walking. But like, no, I want to go all the way to the top of Coldy Fell, and I want to jump off and see what happens. I want to go swimming in Dub and Moor, and I want to go to the docks and just jump in the water. Like I want to climb on top of Cranky and throw myself off into the sea, which we can't do. But Cranky minigame, that would also be cool for stories. Like stuff like the bucket challenge. I'd want to see more of that. A little more. I'd like to see a little more life to it. But little mini games like that would be really fun. I want to drive Cranky. Well, operate Cranky. He's not going to drive anywhere. They could do a story in Wonders of Sodor where Cranky is taken down and taken to another location to work for a little bit. Put Cranky at the quarry and do a Cranky and Mavis story. Pretty cool. Collectibles of the Audrey models. Yeah, that'd be cool also. They got to put Gordon in because Gordon was found. Don't do it. You got so much to live for. And Saints Row 3. 2? No, 2. Saints Row 2 is a game that Ray and I would play a lot. Well, Ray would play the game and build some giant tower of stuff, set the camera on so that I could watch. And like at the end of each call, they would drive to the tallest point of the map and then like drive off of it, just to make a big explosion and big crash. I want to play that game again, but like my computer always acted up when I played it. I think there's some like Steam glitch that makes it act up. I have to see. Sometimes like Steam games they act a little weird. Okay, I think we've got this one. I think this one's pretty good. I'm doing more yapping than I am sanding. Um, it's ironic that we mentioned the Scarlet Railway, considering what I'm making here. All right, I think we're good on this one. Nope, little thing stuck in the corner. I'm glad I have this to work on because I would not be able to sand like my regular prints in a stream because I'd be using my power tools. Like it'd be making a huge mess. Well, I guess I could sand a bunch of them in advance and then just do the hand sanding stage during a stream. Is that the right corner? Where am I going? No, it's still there. All right. Well, I'll just have to take my knife and scrape this junk out of there at the in the sink. It kind of sucks not having a third sink. I sanded in the bathroom I sanded in the kitchen, and then I sanded in the bathroom for a bit. And I'm like, you know what, this isn't working because I take everything out of the bathroom and like I scrub the bathroom before I do my prints. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it in the kitchen now. I'll clean up. I'll take all of our dishes away. I'll just clean up a little bit, and then I'll do it in the kitchen sink. The final stage where I clean everything off. Yeah, 2, 3, 4 left. I'm probably gonna stop. Wow, it's later than I thought it was. I'll probably stop when I finish all of these. So we got 4 to go, and other stuff, but I don't see myself doing that before I have to go to work. All right, I will be right back. I don't think I need my headphones on if I'm not even listening to anything. I'm just like so used to always wearing them. Um, did I have them on actually? I don't remember now. Oh well. Let's see. So we've got 4 frames to go, and hopefully I'll get through them all if I don't yap too much. I recently watched Monkey Wrench, indie animated show. I really enjoyed it. It's cool. I've never heard of Monkey Wrench. In terms of indie stuff, I've watched new indie stuff, I guess. I watched Amazing Digital Circus. That was pretty good. And then I don't know. There's like 3 other popular shows that have come out since then, pilots that I just haven't seen. I've heard a lot of interesting things about Game Overs, but I'm like, I don't know if that's for me. Guess I'll watch the pilot, but if I don't like it, then oh well. Same mentality as the Thomas reboot. I'll give it a try. I'm like, if I don't like it, then okay, whatever. Moving on. Thomas ended in 2020. I've been doing all right since then. If Thomas doesn't come back, then oh well. We've got like 24 seasons. I think it's perfectly fine that Thomas came to an end. I wish the ending was a bit better, but you know, for what it is, it's okay, I guess. Oh, I definitely have my headphones on because this is like really loud. The sanding. There we go. Also, my voice was not as loud as well. The most I've gotten out of the reboot is nice was the hot McCall. That's all I need. Oh, McCall. Friggin' Farmer McCall. I was really weirded out when I saw people tweeting about McCall, which you can like McCall all you want, but some people were going like they were getting a little too descriptive with their desires for McCall. I got a little too descriptive for me, and part of me was like, should I say something? The part of me is like, it's just Twitter. Who don't do it? Who cares? And like I was trying to think. I was like, I'm like I probably said something stupid like this when I was younger. I don't think as much about a character or something. I don't recall, but I was like, well, I don't know. I think a lot of people here are younger, so whatever. I mean, I'm sure Ray and I and Ryan, there's some stupid quotes out there from back in the day that might be somewhat reminiscent of McCall tweeting. I mean, has Farmer McCall ever gotten this much attention from fans ever? He's always just been there to me, and now he's everywhere. So I do like his design. I will say that I do like it, and if people really like it, then that's good for them. I was not expecting how explicit some people would be about it. Yeah, just a little, just a little bit. I think, I mean, there's a trend that I see a lot where people say something on Twitter, not Thomas, just like in general. They're like, "Whoa, this blew up! Oh, this is getting out of my circle," and it's like, "Yeah, man, this is the internet. You're on a public forum. Whatever you say can blow up. Anything can blow up. Like with TikTok and stuff now." That was like my biggest fear at one of my previous jobs is that like I was afraid that I would mess up because like I was out in public a lot. I was afraid I would mess up and someone would film it and put it on TikTok and it would go viral. The internet is crazy. You never know what's going to go viral. So yeah, some Farm McCall tweets, they might go viral. They might be on the next meme page like that. What is it? Piss James is the account, that one tweet that blew up, or the season 5 tweet. Like, yeah, never know. Well, at least people are enjoying the reboot so far, I guess. Yeah, that definitely is a Tumblr thing. I feel like people are very open about what characters they like, nowadays, which is fine. But keep in mind that there may be like minors lurking around. Although I guess a lot of people that say stuff like that are minors, so it's like I don't know. Social media is weird. I've really been like going back and forth about how I feel about it the last couple months. I have a Snapchat. I have a Snapchat that I would use talking to like friends outside the fandom, and I don't use it as much now because, well, I mostly use it to talk to my girlfriend, but we live together now, and she was like, "I don't know where you thought that I like Snapchat so much. I don't know where that came from." But first, you just texted me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, we had some like group chats for friends and stuff, but now I'm like, I feel like I'm too old for this app. I feel like I'm too old for Snapchat, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. Also, I think also with social media is like a lot of stuff, especially fandom stuff, it feels more serious than it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are like actual problems. There are like serious things that happen. Other times I feel like drama like isn't that deep. Like one time I saw people getting mad on Thomas Twitter because somebody griefed somebody's Minecraft server. And I was like, I don't care about this. This could have been sorted in your DMs. Like, whatever. Enough talk about Twitter. I'm talking about something else. Instagram kids and Tumblr kids. I don't know. I don't use TikTok. I have one, but I've never done anything with it. It's pretty cool if the Dovetail Direct they just decided to go live right now instead of in like 2 more hours. Favorite print that I've made? Well, I could be greedy and say that it's the 7 plank truck because it's what's made me the most money. I like. I don't know. It's kind of hard because I like them all for different reasons, and I dislike them for different reasons. Like the probably the LMS brake van, the Bradford might be my favorite one because of how it looks. But I also dislike it a lot because sanding it is a pain, especially doing around the windows and stuff and the ceiling under the roof, which I really want to touch up that file and experiment with it a bit so that the roof comes out a bit nicer on the bottom. Part of me is like, should I have even made this open anyways? Because painting in there is kind of a pain. Unless you use spray paint, I guess. I don't know. Probably the Bradford is my favorite. I want to make more, but like I'm constantly in this balancing act of focus on prints, focus on my series, which isn't that bad. But right now, I've got a bunch of other stuff also going on, so it's a little tough. But yeah, probably the Bradford. Honestly, I really like how that looks, and I don't have a Bradford of my own yet. Not yet. I need to go on like a binge of commissioning people. I need to find someone who does faces and be like, "Hey, can you make me a Bradford, a Glenn, a Dudley, a Lumpy, a Sylvester McPoggy Like, here's like 20 characters I need you to make. Like, I don't know. Here's $1,000. Go crazy. However much those are going to cost me, I don't know. I want to make a Glenn really badly, but just I don't know. I don't want to throw shade at anybody. I don't want to hate or anything, but a lot of people use a thumper face for Glenn, and I can't get past that. Like it breaks the immersion for me. I just see Thumper. Maybe it's because I think about Thumper more than most people. I have a fascination with Thumper in that whole episode, but yeah, I just always see Thumper. I mean, it's a good fit, like, but it just I mean, a good fit for the shape and the size, I guess, but it always takes me out of it. But people are very limited on their options for official faces to use for Glenn. Why I make Glenn? Yeah, the capsule face. The only reason I wouldn't do that is because I've heard that it's like super expensive and really hard to find. So I don't see myself getting I don't see myself getting a capsule playroll Glenn. Collapsal. Oh, Thomas Tank merch. Yeah. I've heard Thomas Tank merch and like Chairlord do faces and stuff, but it doesn't say anything in their bios. So I'm gonna be like, hey, do you still do this? I'm gonna be like, no. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. There's a bunch of people that make faces these days. I get that question a lot. Like on eBay, people DM me like, hey, where can I get faces? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. The two people that I got faces from in the past are both not in the fandom anymore. So I don't know. Kind of depends. I mean, you got to find somebody that makes the model of the face, and then you have to find somebody to print it. Like I could print it myself, but I'm not going to. I would want the faces to be done in a resin because they're supposed to be round and smooth and like really detailed. So I would want somebody else to print it, and then I would want somebody else to paint it for me because I'm not good at painting faces. So very expensive, very lengthy process. All for a Dudley. But hey, it's worth it. It's Dudley. Come on. Fun fact. Actually, not a fun fact. A very horrific, sad fact. I have not made a custom model all year. I have not made a single one all year. It makes me kind of sad. I mean, I've sanded for people, sanded orders, trucks, and then this. Not made a single thing for myself. So last year, well, this year, like my 2025 video came out, and I was like, January this, February that. This year it's gonna be like November this, or maybe there won't be one. I don't want to think about that. It'll be a very short video probably. Because I don't know. I gotta get episode 2 done. I will go insane if it takes 4 years. Is there anyone in the fan that makes CGI style faces for TWR? I'm sure they do. I've seen them before, but I don't know off the top of my head who would do that. Who would be the best person to ask about that? I guess you could just ask like people that make trains models faces, like ask them for faces, and then get someone to scale it down. But I don't know. It kind of depends. I've seen stuff before though. I've seen like Sad Percy CGI and other characters, so yeah, it kind of depends. Oh, maybe that was Shapeways. Maybe. That someone got them from. Marvelous Mainland, I guess. Maybe. I don't know a whole lot about Mainland, that whole group, the Y Pictures, I think. I don't know who does what. I just know they all do trains videos. But I think at least one of them has a Patreon or some like a store where you can buy faces off of. So, and then once you buy the faces, you can do what you want, like put them in trains or, I don't know, print them out, I guess. So, how's this coming along? Got a little thread here. This PETG is kind of stringy, even though I dried it out like 4 times. There's a little bit of little bits of strings in there. Actually, the camera's not going to pick that up. That's so small. But my eyeballs will pick it up, and it bothers me. Question of who makes CGI faces, who makes faces printing are 2 different questions. Yeah, that too. Some people might have different policies about what you can and can't do with their faces. And some people might make faces that like don't have printing in mind, maybe. So if you scale them down, they might not look as good. Something like that, I guess. All right, let's get this back done. Guess this one's just gonna... Sometimes it's fun to use a modified faces for others. Use a take and play bash face for a rounded Stanley face or a slightly modified mini die-cast collection Henry face for Dudley. Yeah, that too. You can use modified faces or faces from other characters. Like, kind of just depends. Since I use CGI style for my series now, I use the original Thomas face for Zero, and then CGI Thomas is Thomas. Although I want to modify. I want to give Zero his like the eyebrows that he actually has in the show when his face is animated on the actual model. Or maybe I'll just commit. I should commission somebody to make custom faces. Like have it resemble Thomas's face, but different eyebrows and like some different expressions, like completely unique expressions. Cam Mainland, CJ Fred. Yeah, some trains people, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, only problem is that it can cost money. Which, I mean, everything costs money. It's really cool to commission stuff, though. Like, get a special thing or buy something from somebody. I mean, it helps people out. Like, people buy from my store, and it supports me. But I know everybody's kind of got a different financial situation. Especially right now with how the world is. I do appreciate it though, especially because there's like I don't know. I don't want to say competition, but like competition now. There's other. I'm not the only game in town that sells wooden railway prints, and some people have them priced differently. But everyone has a different style, a different way of doing things, and so it's really cool. 2026 Metal Collection diecast James face without colored irises could make for a pretty good face for Early Series James model. Maybe. I don't think I have any faces right now that would be good for anything that I need. I started making a Walter custom this year before I moved. So I've started the project, but I have not finished it. I kind of want to use the Angry Gordon wind-up face. It's kind of like a reference to Sheffield. He used the Gordon face. And also, I do not want a happy face for my Walter. He's not a happy guy to me. Luckily, my friend was able to show me how the face scales on a Wilberts and a Ben and stuff. And I'm like, that'll be perfect. Too bad it's going to cost me like $20, $30. Oh, well. The face is really important. I mean, it's what brings the character to life. So I think having a good face is a pretty big deal. Okay, we should be almost done with you. I'm not going for like the most detailed look on these frames. I'm just trying to clean them up a little bit and get rid of some of the gunk on them because this is going to be painted up and stuff. This is just a flat piece, It's not the world's most detailed thing. Also, you're not going to see half of it. Well, just depending where the camera's at. Yeah. We'll see. The other thing is that these are like a millimeter thick. Actually, these ones are thicker. There are other pieces that are like a millimeter thick, and I'm like, if I sand these, they might just break. So there are certain things that just, as long as the gunk is cleaned up and there's not like strings and little bits hanging down, that's my only concern, and that the client seemed to agree. Oh wait, I don't. I already said. This is for Sunday. These little frames. They're not that little. They're like a similar size to my hand. I've been told I have large hands. 2:30. Okay. I might end this at 3. I don't know if I'll get through the rest of these, all 3 of these. Before then, we'll see. So we shall see. Not the most interesting stream visual wise, but this little glove of paint is really bugging me. I need to get this stuff done anyway, so I might as well just check in with people while I'm doing it because I've not streamed in a long time. Enterprising Engine streamed like twice recently, and when I was watching them, I was like, "Oh, I want to do that." So here we are. Definitely want to get some carpet and some like sound panels in here, though. It's really echoey. Tourniquet live stream was so fun. Yeah, it looked really fun. I liked all the little additions, like your music video. Like there was definitely planning put into the stream. I mean, obviously you had to plan to get people there in real life, but yeah, it was. It wasn't like this. It was like a full on, show with stuff prepared. It was really fun. Unfortunately, my question didn't get answered. But whatever. I'll just ask Matt another time. Kind of hard to do. Pretty hard to answer questions when you have like 100 people asking. I've only got a couple here. When you've got 100 and you have other stuff you want to do, you kind of just gotta pick and choose and move on. Yeah, great visuals. Fun to watch all the way through. I tried to watch the whole thing, but in the hour number 5, it was like 1 hour I think before it actually ended. I was like, okay, I'm tired, I can't watch this anymore. I need to eat. I need to prepare food and go to bed or something. No, I think I ate during it, but I wanted to cook something and then I wanted to go to bed. Also, I kind of just got a little tired watching the same thing for 5 hours. I'll probably watch the final hour at some point, some other time. There's another little bit stuck in there. Ugh. It's also why I can't stream that long. Like I'll get bored if I sit here for too long, but also uh I don't do a whole lot of talking unless I'm in a call or something. So like right now my throat is starting to hurt. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying hydrated, but like I can't talk for 5 hours straight. Um I mean, calls and stuff with people is different because I'm not the only person talking. But yeah, definitely tires me out a little bit. Yeah, Chase does look like Eddie Burback. I like Eddie Burback. I went to visit my parents a few weeks ago, and they were trying to use the smart TV, and somebody else in the house had watched an Eddie Burback video on YouTube, and then my parents just started watching it because they thought it was like a show or something. And I'm like, no, this is Eddie Burback. He's talking about um, going to Italy to compare the food to Olive Garden in America, and we all just watched Eddie Burback for a little bit. You did have quite a few bangers, I must say. There were a lot of fun comments, especially when the muscles started coming out. Everybody had funny comments. Lots of fun things to say. I guess that was like gosh, it was no, that's weird. I was about to say like, oh, it's kind of like a little preview for the Farmer McCall stuff, but I'm like, no, that sounds weird if you think about it too much. Farmer McCall probably is muscly though. Being a farmer, doing a lot of work, definitely long. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause he was there and you were also there. Yeah. I was getting tired because he was getting. I think it was like 11 or something. Imgay, that was oomph. I had to lock in. Fair enough. Uh, hmm. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Last stream was Mrs. Cow. Now it's Farmer McCall. So next time is probably going to be another farm related thing. I love the part in Eddie's Las Vegas Sphere video where he sees different Eddie balls. I've seen that video, but I don't know what you're talking about. The Eddie balls. We also watched my parents were watching like the Las Vegas Sphere videos as well, like the Wizard of Oz show with the sphere. And I don't know, I think the sphere isn't as cool as people make it out to be. Because it's just like you have the movie in like a tiny little part of the screen, like a regular screen, and then you just have AI generated stuff all around, and it definitely didn't look the best. I get why you'd want to use The Wizard of Oz though for the Sphere experience though. It's an iconic movie, but yeah. Eddie Balls. I'll have to rewatch that. I have a couple Eddie videos in my watch later right now, like his carnivore diet one I haven't seen. I liked his AI video. I like the one where he's playing Wii Bowling also. Yeah, it was cool how in that stream Matt like had people there with him in person. I think it was like it really it kind of like elevated the stream a bit, like just showing how much thought was like put into preparing this. Yeah. Seafood boil. I have not had a seafood boil. I wanted to have seafood the other day. I wanted to have seafood over the weekend. So like I went out to eat and we went out to eat and I ordered the fish and the guy was like, got it. And he comes back, he's like, hey, we're out of fish. I'm like, oh, I'll get some garlic wings. And he was like, got it. And he comes back, he's like, yeah, we're out of garlic wings too. So I was like, I guess I'll get barbecue wings. I don't really like barbecue that much. But what's that be northeast? Yeah, northeast. It seems like a lot of people in the northeast, like East Coast, are closer. I'm Midwest, so it's a little different. Farquhar, yeah, Farquhar Axe by Lemmy, but his former trotter is also ripped. I thought the Farquhar Axe got canceled. I don't know. Dolly Parton just died. What is this? I thought she was like. Oh God, what? 80? I didn't know she was 80. Oh, what? Damn. That's Dolly Parton, country music legend, dies at 80 just 4 days after saying, I still have so many things I want to achieve. Damn. That's wow. I didn't expect to hear that today. Huh. That's wow. Huh. Well, rest in peace to Dolly Parton then. That's terrible. Because of Shea Frills Productions sushi video, I want to try sushi someday. Yeah, I also want to try sushi. I've never had it. Hello, Kukak. Can't join right now. Just saying hello. Well, hello to you, and hello to Stefano. I know Stefano is with you. Probably like a couple feet away. Yeah, 15 minutes ago. Oh, and yeah, Farquhar Axe was just 2 parts. Yeah, that's dang. Wow. No, that's I did not know that she was 80. I thought she was like 60. Uh, I'm glad my girlfriend is still asleep. She would probably that would not be a very fun way to hear that news, just hearing me in the other room uh announcing that. But guys, that's terrible. I don't really know much about Dolly Parton, but I mean she seemed like a nice person and stuff. I've been to her theme park. Wow. Um wow. Got two more after this. I don't think I'm gonna get these done in the next 15 minutes. I'm going at it like a decent pace. I'm definitely doing more yapping than I am sanding at times, but I'm getting a little better at multitasking. Um, I feel like I'm kind of just bad at multitasking a lot of the time. Um, I think it's just better for me to focus on one task at a time. Like if I'm trying to edit something or write something like a script and I have YouTube or music going on, I just get distracted by that thing. I used to have 2 monitors, and I don't anymore because the second monitor would always just distract me. Although I might get it back and just be better at not watching YouTube while I'm trying to do important work. College definitely made me not like multitasking as much with, certain stuff. Kinda just depends. Oh, food poisoning? Yeah, I guess that happens sometimes. Danny DeVito is 81? I didn't know that. These people are older than I thought. Wow. I'm 24 and people say that I'm old. Like it's actually kind of funny at one of my previous jobs telling people like that yeah, I'm 23 and once you get to my age your back starts to go out and I was joking around but my coworkers were kind of horrified. Seafood place I and Chase's Bunch went to had some of the best breaded shrimp I've ever had. It was so good. I've never had breaded shrimp. I've only had like the I guess raw shrimp like once. I want to try more seafood. Um, we went to Maine a couple years back, 6 years back. Wow. Yeah, over. Yeah. I went to Maine and I should have gotten a lobster, but I didn't because I was like, well, that's expensive. And what if I don't like it? Then I wasted all that money. But at the very least, I could have tried one of my friends' lobsters because she didn't finish. I was like, I'm full. I'll go back someday. Breaded shrimp, my beloved. I should eat more shrimp. Whenever we get seafood or like red lobster, I'll get like fish and chips or a fish sandwich. My girlfriend's like, I'll get 3 orders of the shrimp scampi. I'm like, dang, just shrimp, shrimping it up. Which way you going, shrimp? Shrimp's okay though. Crab's okay. I just I just like the fish the best, I guess. I don't think I'd ever eat like calamari, octopus. I don't think I'd ever try that. But I don't know. I've been trying different kinds of fish. I made salmon. I broiled it a couple months ago. Um I've been cooking more with HelloFresh. which is pretty off and on because HelloFresh is expensive. But I've made a couple seafood dishes through HelloFresh. Wait, no, I haven't. I've just made that one. I'm getting things mixed up. Shrimp Town. I love Bubble. Bubble's the best character in that show. Why would they hate you when they could just hate you? You should throw a beach party. 22. I think people definitely are afraid of aging and like getting old, which like is partially understandable. But there's like my life is over. I'm 20 and I don't have it figured out yet. I definitely felt that a lot, but I'm kind of more relaxed about it now. I'm like, well, whatever. If Tolkien didn't write Lord of the Rings until he was like 50, I think I'm perfectly fine where I'm at right now. Some people might disagree with me, but I just have to tell them, hey, I'm doing the best that I can. It's kind of crazy the world we live in right now. So as long as you're getting through the day and doing what you got to do and being nice, I think it's all right. All right, almost done with this one. These little corners, right where the triangle meets, are really giving me a pain. Yeah, I'll just do this with the knife. Shrimp has never done me wrong. It's always serving when she needs to. Every place, everywhere she delivers. What is that? What's that phrase? It's like things are chopped and cooked before they are served. You might look chopped until you get served. Something like that. Someone strung those terms together and made a funny little tweet about it. True. I'm assuming this is about Bubble. Shrimp is good, especially fried. You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice? As culture idolizes the youth in online space, they're flooded with people who still worry about SATs. It makes your 20s sound old. It does. Like, I was really stressed out in high school, to the point where like it broke me for a bit mentally. But like, especially like, I don't know. They drill it into your head that like you gotta go to college, you gotta go to college, you gotta figure it out, you gotta figure it out. And it's like, I'm 15. I know the announcements are for seniors, but like as soon as you become a sophomore, basically, they're like, "Hey, so what college are you going to?" I don't know. I had such a mixed experience with college, and I'm still trying to like process it sometimes mentally. Like, did that actually happen? Did I actually go through some of these things, or like, did I actually pay for all that and get this out of it? I don't know. It's different. But yeah, it definitely makes you feel like you need to get it figured out right now. Get your stuff together. And then once you're done with school, I feel like I don't know. Having a job is like it can be repetitive and stuff and but I don't know. I would rather work than like go to school for 8 hours a day again. At least I'm getting paid. At least I can pay for my own place and buy cool stuff. I think also maybe I'm just good at repetitive tasks. Like, I don't know. I've been told by several people, and there are several people that are speculating right now that I have autism, and it's certainly a possibility. I mean, I do have a Thomas and Friends YouTube channel after all, but no, words. I'm going way off on a tangent right now, but yeah. Your 20s do sound very old when you're in high school, and when you're in your 20s, it kind of goes all over the place, back and forth. So, yeah. Try not to worry too much about getting old to the younger people here. There's only like 4 people here. So maybe that advice applies to like 1 person. Okay. Did my camera flash? Is the internet? Being a Thomas fan 9 times out of 10 is probably a big sign. Yeah, my future in-laws, one of them works with children on the spectrum, and they recently like worked with one like that has some signs. Well, like one they know is getting, looked at. And now that they're like, this kid is definitely on it, they're kind of looking at me like I definitely think I don't know. I definitely think there's some signs there. Also, I think like neurodivergence is just a lot more common than people would think. Like back in the day, you have like older people are like, "Why is everyone so autistic nowadays?" It's like, well, I don't know. There's that tweet where it's like, well, Pluto was always there, the planet. Even if we didn't notice it until this year, I'm pretty sure that planet was always there. So I don't know. It depends. A year and 7 months after you graduate to find a job. Yeah, the job market is it's something. I 2025 was like an awful year for me because I was unemployed for most of it. I did DoorDash for a while, and that's like one of the worst things that you could do, unless you live in a huge city. Just work at a dollar store, throw boxes in a warehouse, work at McDonald's, like work in a building with heat and air conditioning with like some level of consistency and safety. Like don't do DoorDash, man. It's not worth it. In September, I found a job, and then I was promoted this year, and then I got a raise, and things are going. I think 2026 is going much better for me than 2025 did. I'll say that. There's the bit about how people tend to cluster if they're the same minoritized identity, and not the clock rare topaz, but yeah. 256. What's the notification? I picked up my phone. My T-Mobile Tuesday perks. What do we got this time? I was so upset a few weeks ago because my T-Mobile perk was that I got like free Popeyes chicken, but when I was done with work, Popeyes was already closed. That made me really sad. Anything good today? My T-Mobile perk should be that I get a discount on all Thomas merchandise. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, I don't see anything cool there. I've got 2 frames left, but I should probably eat something. I haven't eaten much today, and I should probably eat. So I think I'm going to end the stream at like 3. I got a decent amount done. So 2 left to go. Would have liked to get a little further, but these just take a long time. I need a new chair. This one sucks. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna call it quits here for sanding. I forgot I gotta be like closer so you guys can actually hear me. No, I closed my spreadsheet. Whoa. Okay, hang on a sec. I opened Twitter, and the first thing I see is Train Sim World 7, which, yeah, obviously that was going to be the main announcement of the Dovetail Direct. I did want to watch it also just for other stuff about, their games. Because I like Train Sim World. I haven't played it since Wonders of Sodor came out, but I want to play Train Sim World 5 again. But now Train Sim World 7 is coming out. It says that the stream is still counting down. An hour left. But Train Sim World was announced. Train Sim World 7 was just announced, so I don't know. Okay. Maybe I'll do a Wonders of Sodor stream next time. I've got 2 more stories to do. And then, I also like the services. I like the service mode and the shunting challenge. I've seen people online complain about the shunting challenge, but I'm like, no, I love the shunting challenge. Maybe that could go on the list of reasons why I might be on the spectrum, because my brain lights up when it's time to do the shunting challenge in Wonders of Sodor. I'm trying to plan the best route and doing as few moves as possible. All right. I'll let it go for a couple more minutes, and then we'll cut it there. Yeah, I love shunting in train games. In retrospect, that should probably be on the test. Maybe, I don't know. I like organizing. I legitimately enjoy organizing things, and making spreadsheets and stuff. And I think I don't know, something about it just sends off a little thing in my brain. But sometimes I feel like it's toxic. Like, oh, I could let me make a spreadsheet of all this stuff, or let me plan out, let me organize everything before I film. And then I do that instead of filming, basically. It's like I'm creating extra tasks for myself to do because just to check off that box. I don't know. But yeah, I that's probably why I like the shunting challenge, just organizing the yard. I need a Mavis shunting challenge, Mavis and Toby, and maybe Edward. I guess there's cut content so that there was a shunting at Wellsworth, and then that was changed. Tailland. I've never heard of Tailland. Playing Shunter will make you realize Thomas probably needs to take an ADHD test, and that's why Doug did it for so long. Yeah, Thomas got bored of it, but I don't get the impression that Duck ever got bored of shunting. I think he was just offered a branch line. He's like, oh, that sounds fun. Yes, I'd love to work by the beach. But if he was never offered that, I don't think he'd be sad that he was just a shunter. Just practice by shunting the shopping cart to the grocery store. Yeah, I always liked doing that as a kid too. The grocery carts. It was surreal seeing Salty DK Dan playing Wonders of Sodor. I have a video of his in my watch later. It said not playing Minecraft after 5 years. Now playing Minecraft after 5 years or something like that. And I think that video has been on my watch later for as many years as it's been since it came out. So now the game is completely different again. Yeah, I should do Wonders of Sodor. It's kind of playing games feels weird to me because it's a Thomas channel, not a gaming channel. But it's the Thomas game, so it makes more sense to stream it here instead of on Bringle Bros, which died forever ago. Ray and I don't even discuss Bringle Bros. We're just so busy, I guess. But if that's what it takes, take an episode 2 remastered episode 9 to come out, then so be it. All right, I forgot to eat today except for breakfast, so I should go do that right now. Thank you to everybody that. Let me adjust the camera so I can make some eye contact. Thank you to everybody that came. This was very impulsive. just like random stream that I wanted to do, just to give me something to do while I'm sanding these things. And I didn't finish all of them, but we got some progress. Talked about some stuff, and yeah, this was a fun, chill time. I should really get some music next time, but yeah. Bye. Yeah. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Oh wait, end stream, not leave studio. I don't want to just. There we go.